Hi everyone, this is Susie from Minnesota, and I garden in Zone 4, and it's late August, and I thought in this tour I'm just going to take you around and show you how things are doing. This is what it looks from the north side of the house. There is a little bit of a breeze today, and the cicadas are out in full force, so I do apologize for the sound quality. And I know my neighbors are having some work done on their house, so there's going to be that noise too. And this is Redhead Coleus. This is Lemon Blush, thanks to a viewer. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly though. All cuttings that I had taken last year. Since the last tour, we've had a lot of rain, so everything is looking very lush and responding very nicely to it. The grass is nice and thick and weedy. I just wanted to show you this. I'm not sure what this is. I'm guessing a spider egg sac. I don't know. Get to see what comes out of that. I've had some big spiders hanging around, especially in this container. And it's been living here probably for, I would say a few weeks, and now it's gone. Which makes me nervous because now I don't know where it's at. And you can see there's a little web in there. And it's called a writing spider. It's spelled W-R-I-T-I-N-G. And every time we have high winds, I worry that this is gonna bust. I'm like, I'm not gonna prune it because it's kind of a nasty looking spider. Neat looking, but it's gone. I'm not a fan of spiders. As long as they stay away from me, I'm okay. I will let them do their business. Hostas still look pretty good, considering I have not watered this bed at all, and I'm done watering. That's too expensive. And when I say water, it means it's my plants. I don't water the grass. That's a waste of water as far as I'm concerned. But that tells you how shady I am. Solomon seal still looks really good. No stress on that plant. Yeah, very surprised that these still look good this late in the season too. I don't know the name of this Hosta, but I'm not like, it does this every year. I'm thinking there's actually something wrong with this one. And so it doesn't, compared to all the other ones, it looks a little yucky. I will do a Hosta tour and a shade plant tour in a different video, otherwise this video is going to take too long. So I'm just going to touch upon what's blooming and doing well in my garden and come back to the hostas in a later one, but this is really pretty. I love this. This is Curly Fries Hosta, one of my favorites. Nice little pop-up purple over here. Caladiums are doing wonderful. And those are bulbs I got from Florida Boys Caladiums. And I get that online. This Coleus, that's just gorgeous. It could be a number of them. I forget if it's like lava rose, strawberry drop. Oh, and we got a lawnmower too, so yay. So now is the time that I start making plans too, as far as what I want to do with my plants, because right now we're in 90-degree weather and they're talking it tomorrow too, and then after that a huge cool down into the low 70s. But you can see that this fern back here is totally being covered up by the Sun King Aurelia and this Hosta. That will be moved. I don't know if I'm going to move it this year though. Ferns can be a little touchy for me, and then this still be over here is also kind of being shaded. I will figure out where I want to move that. And then this geranium has really never liked this spot, so I think it might not be getting enough sun. And this is Midnight Ghost, so I'm going to be moving that into an area with more sun. We'll see. And this bed will keep filling out with the hostas, and man, the Sun Kings have done wonderfully this year. So yes, I'm hoping by next week I can start doing some stuff in my garden. It's just too warm right now. And snow on the mountain always looks like... That was a weird little bird noise. My snow on the mountain always look like this at this time. So it is a little bit of an eyesore, but honestly I'm sure if I would cut it back, you can see in there, it's quite healthy looking, but I'm not going to worry about it at this time. Oh, I was going to show you kind of what the house looks like from the street, like the view. I had a viewer ask that. If you can see. It's nothing spectacular. I mean, I say that because I'm always wanting to make things better. To me, gardening is like a puzzle. It's always figuring out, you know, where everything goes, how it pieces together. It's like I'm always missing that last piece. And I'm thinking at some point this might turn into a perennial bed and widen it a little bit more here to put something in front of these shrubs. I do like the shrubs because they can tolerate our winters, because these get covered in snow and just packed to the ground. I mean, they're flat. They bounce back every year. So, and I'm not sure what else I would want to put there that could tolerate the winters like that. But yeah. And then this area too, I am thinking, I don't like how just straight this is. I like curvy lines. And my gardens are always evolving. And that's what's so fun about gardening. I didn't do much this year, I just maintained. So I'm thinking of plans for maybe when it gets a little bit cooler, just also widening this out, having it curve. But I don't know. When it gets to this point in the season, I'm also getting kind of a little burnt out. The caladiums are just, most are doing good. There's some in containers that aren't doing so well, and I'll show you that real quick, and I'll kind of explain what I think it is. Brunnera is looking okay. You can see that there's a little damage here, and I want to say it's probably what happened to some other stuff, but it's seeded down there, so I got a little baby, and I'm leaving it. I might dig it up and put it somewhere else. Oh, I just walked into a cobweb. So things are still looking pretty good. I can't believe that my bleeding heart has not gone dormant. I mean, I know it's yellowing a little, but wow. Normally it just dies back to the ground and it's done for the season. Must be loving that spot back there. All of my Ladies Mantle Alchemilla mollis has been trimmed up. This hardy geranium looks like it's bouncing back a little bit better. Alright, I'm going to swing you over here. I love how the sun comes through, like that filtered light. This is one of my favorite areas in the morning, just with the way that the sun is shining on it. These daylilies look really tough. I hope they come back next year. If they don't, I'm not going to be overly sad. You can see this one really is. But maybe right now it's just getting a really strong root system, fingers crossed. But these hostas still have a lot of growing to do. At some point I'll be having to move some of them. So when I was thinking about moving the astilbes, like I don't think I'm going to add anything more to this area because it will. Like this right here is probably a little crowded. Because that one, well, hopefully will get bigger, but I do have Coleus in here filling up a spot, but this astilbe might have to be moved. I like that pop of color that the Caladiums and the Coleus give. Those are all annuals for me, so those are definitely not coming back. I will do a video on how I take my cuttings. A big tree branch fell on that Coleus and broke it off, but I'm just letting it do what it wants to do. So yeah, so I was thinking about putting something in here, but like I said, these are all going to fill in at some point, so sometimes bare ground is not such a bad thing. World Cup. That is one of my favorite upright hostas. And then my little twigs back there. I don't have a fire pit anymore, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with all that. Maybe just leave it for like a bug hotel of some sort. I have not laid down any slug bait this year at all. There is some damage on some, but at this point in late August, I'm no longer going to worry about it. It doesn't pay out. That's kind of pretty too, all the spent flowers down there. This one has suffered, and you can see with as dry. That's what happens. I know hostas start looking kind of yucky towards the end of the season too, but and it might be getting just a little more sun here than the rest. I would say this is an area that at least gets 4 hours of sun and then kind of dappled sun throughout the day. other plans too might be, do I want to keep this daylily or do I just want to retire it? So lots of decisions. I need to walk around and just make notes. This Persicaria is a little tall, but oh well. It looks really good, nice and healthy. The leaves are so pretty. And this also might be one that I will take a clump of and move elsewhere. I could trim off all of these spent heads on the fleece flower, but I'm just leaving it. It's not overly pretty, but the bugs still like it. I am sorry for all of the background noise. This is Turtlehead Heloni. And you can see kind of why it's called that, because the flower heads look like turtle heads. It's so cute. And it adds late color to your garden. This was just one plant and it's gotten this big over, let's say at least 5 years, at least. And it looks like a shrub. And the bees love this one too. Oh, right over there. They actually hide in them. I think it's kind of cute. Focus. So yeah, it's a nice plant. One of my favorites, but I always say it's kind of a love-hate because when it starts blooming, I know fall is just around the corner. Same with the Rudbeckia. This should be a bit taller, but the bunnies had trimmed it for me, and actually they might have done me a favor because it's kind of kept it a little bit shorter so it's not covering up this, because it should have been kind of up to here. So that's a nice height. You can see this hosta down here is blooming. I'm leaving that one also. Right now it is adding some color to my garden. And that is a late bloomer. It's funny how all hostas have different blooming times too. So which is kind of cool. Up here, so I think I showed you in one of my earlier videos, I had just put a container down here and raised it because I do have boggy conditions back here when we do get rain. So I wanted to make sure that was kept out of the water. And this is a hyacinth bean vine. Oh, that is a strong breeze now. And it's finally blooming. That has taken forever. I think next year, if I do this vine again, that I will start it really early. Because, I mean, I figured, hey, it's a bean vine. It'll grow really fast and bloom fast and put on a really good show, but it took its sweet time to bloom. I'm just going to shift over here. This is an anemone. Lots of blooms on this. Can't wait. There's still some more down here. So this definitely does get enough sun for this. Isn't that pretty? I'm thinking it's Fall in Love Sweetly. I'm not 100% sure, but isn't that pretty? That's also given me some color for late in the season. to mow today. Oh, I was going to show you that planter real quick. Pardon me for backtracking. So my town sprays for mosquitoes on, I would say either weekly, depending on how much rain we get, or every other week. And it's a love-hate relationship with that too, because I love it because it controls the mosquitoes, but I think that's why this is looking like this, and I think that's why the Brunnera looks like the way it does, because some are just a little more tender. I don't know. Either that, or I had a cat that was laying in here. There's a lot of stray cats. But I'm leaving it, see if it perks up. But also the spraying. My dog has such extreme allergies that I just cringe when they spray, because he always comes in and licks and licks and licks. It's just makes for a long night. Miserable little dog. Isn't that pretty? It's a Euphorbia Diamond Frost. I just love how all of this looks in here. And then this plant right in here, the Ligularia, that's what the blooms look like. I don't think they're really anything to look at, to tell you the truth. I just love the plant for the foliage. Let me know what you think of the flowers. Maybe I'm just being too picky. It adds some color, but I don't know. It just looks too bunchy. But not bad. And the Monarchs have been out, and they are crazy. They love Joe Pye weed. So if you are big into gardening for the butterflies, Joe Pye is definitely a must-have. Back here is, I'm going to say, a Rudbeckia of some sort. Looks like I have two different types back there, if you can see. So there's this one that's got a yellow center. They're all perennial. And then there's that one. And then if I can, finally, my morning glory is blooming too. I started those seeds a little bit late also, so note to self, I will start them early. So I need to get in view here. So that one will be opening probably tomorrow. Look at that one. And it's a pretty big size too. I know I have one up there and I can't see it. They should be kind of variegated, the petals. And I know some are, but I think this one would be, because you can see how. So I can't wait to see what that looks like. But I better get this on film, because who knows, it might not bloom again. And then you can see, I have to back out of this area carefully so I don't trip. My clematis is blooming again. Very happy to see that. A little bit with the pink mink up there too, if you can see. Daylilies are pretty much done now for the season. I think I have one left to bloom. See, sedum is starting to bloom down here. Kind of a fuchsia color. Lamb's ears are doing wonderful. I will try and do a video on splitting this White Wands Veronica. I will wait till it's a little bit cooler. I'm hoping the video works out. It's just sound quality is always a huge thing for me. And it's just me. I don't have any help with my film, with my videos. Roses are still doing fantastic. You can see there's new growth in here. Whoops. Oh, I just noticed that my grasses are starting to get their, did you say their flower heads? Nice. So the thing about this area is in spring and early summer, oops, I'm stepping on something, it gets a lot of sun, a lot. It gets enough to make most of these plants happy. But unfortunately, once August comes, it gets a lot more shade. And that's just because of these trees, which go here. So the sun never gets over here. It's always kind of here. And then eventually it's over here. It will get some afternoon sun with this patch right here, but that's it. So we're talking this garden might get, again, dappled, coming through the leaves, and then maybe a couple hours in the evening. So it starts to look a little tough. This is gladioli that came back for me. I had planted them last year and I must not have gotten rid of all of them, which I thought I did, and it survived my winter. So I would call that pretty amazing. This is looking a little wild now. I've been trimming some things up. I've lost some plants in here. Some things are needing some staking, but at this point I'm just kind of letting nature do its thing. And you can see the hyacinth bean vine over here is looking fantastic. So it is very beautiful. So happy it finally bloomed for me. So, oh, looks like it's getting some seed pods. I do not do a whole lot of seed saving because I do always worry about that cross-pollination. And I'm always a little bit late to get the seeds. So I'll see what I can do this year and see if they even turn out. I always have so many seeds. I'm always wanted to try new things too, but I am very happy with a lot of what's in my garden this year, so who knows what I'm going to do next year. Like so far this year, Cleome, the spider flower, has been a huge favorite too. It's a weird looking flower, I will give you that, but I think there's something cool. I love this view. Isn't that neat? Just kind of like the Cleome has made their own little arch there, little walkway. Just like how that looks. I'm actually going to go this way though, so I'm not getting hung up on flowers. Verbena still, I hope that seed's all over for next year. I'm in love with that plant. It's not a perennial in my area, but sometimes I get things that come back. Zone 4 can be very tricky. The David phlox still has some blooms on. Nice little pop of white in there. This one is almost finished. And once this pot gets retired for the season, I need to think on how I want to plant. Not plant, but I think I'm going to divide this phlox and kind of put it around this area. And here I have Acorn Squash. I hope that these ripen before we get a freeze. Never know what happens in Minnesota, but you can see there's some little tiny squash there. I have one down here. I mean, it's tiny, so what do you think? But we'll see. I'm surprised that it's fruiting at all, because right now this area not getting a whole lot of sun. This rose looks the best, because I'm sure what happens in the afternoon, this just being right here just gets that sun that's needed. And then this poor dahlia, I'm just gonna leave it. Gonna go wah wah wah. I think what happened is planted it, did everything supposed to, and then didn't get the rain, so everything, it just kind of sat there, because I'm sure the roots can't go out because this soil is compact, rock hard. And I know I have better luck with dahlias in a really loose, well-draining soil. So that one, it's just not doing it. I'm hoping that the tubers still survive and I can save them and maybe try it next year. We'll see. And this morning glory is just starting to bloom, but look at, it was all from the same seed packet. If I can do this. This is a massive bloom. Look at that. So like I said, when I get my morning glory seeds, they're always different colors. They're never what it looks like on the packet, which is not horrible. But if you have a certain color scheme you're going with, say if you got a morning glory and it was pink, and you had kind of a pink garden, and then you ended up with blue, I don't know. It doesn't bother me because I plant all different colors. Another gladioli that made it. Let's see if I can get some of these butterflies on film here. I waited just a little bit later to make sure that the butterflies were out. They love the Mexican sunflower, Tithonia. I will never be without that. It's such an easy flower to grow from seed. I'm not gonna lie, the cicadas are a little annoying. But I just feel like the warmer the temps are, the louder they get. I don't know if you can see the butterflies on film here. Like, I got such a glare from the sun. I'm probably not even... Look at how tall that canna has gotten. I'm gonna have to get a ladder out just to deadhead that. It's huge. I think that's one that's not gonna get deadheaded. Sweet peas, I've been trimming them as much as I can, and these warm temps are just not doing them justice. So I think I'm gonna let them go to seed. I don't know, because cooler temps are coming, and it would be nice if I could keep them blooming till a freeze. Oh, I just noticed this. Been deadheading this. Looks like a nice little cluster of roses. Isn't this? Oh, look at this butterfly. Let me swing around if I don't scare it. He keeps moving too. They're so lovely. This one is such a pretty color. I cut one of these the other day and brought it in. I love that color. I'm hoping this tour was interesting enough. I didn't want it to get too long. And the hostas, like I said, when I can figure out the names of some of them, I'm not going to say a lot because there are some that I don't know. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Little Limelight Hydrangea. I love that hint of pink in there. Oh, that's just beautiful. I know I said it's to me, but you know what? It ages very nicely. Better be careful because I know the bees really like that. So, like this one. Oh, it looks like I'm getting a new bloom here. Not overly huge, but you can see some are a little more pink than others. This is really pretty. A lot of times I will leave these to dry and put them in my winter containers. I'm pretty sure this one is, oh, looks like the butterfly likes that too. This is Pinky Winky, and that is so pretty, how pink and then it's white up here. This one stands up very well to the rain, but you can see why it would, because it's not as loaded with blossoms as the other ones. It's a little more airier in there and open, so the rainwater doesn't collect, but that's okay. Oops. Get out of his way. Sorry, I heard something behind me. I try not to swing the camera that way whenever looking. But yeah, I love this area here. I have some stuff, some cuttings going on in there. I haven't looked yet, so I'm not sure if it's taken. Can't wait. I'm a little nervous too. But if it doesn't work out, I'm not out anything, right? But I love walking up this way. It's been a really good season for gardening. Not a whole lot of bug issues this year. I am having some powdery mildew at this point. I'm just going to swing you around here. It's even though we haven't had a lot of rain up until this point, and now I'm very happy because it was making me nervous going into the fall and winter season. But we've also been very humid. And you can tell by the way, like this pot here, it's greening up. And I mean, I don't mind that. But it just doesn't dry out real quick here. But yeah, this year, the bug issues, last year I was dealing with more bug issues than this year. And I think my chlorosis problem on some of my hydrangeas, and I know in the beginning of the season, ouch, I think it was a mosquito, but I know on, I'm like, where is it? I had a oriental lily in here somewhere. It's being hidden by the zinnias. But yeah, I had chlorosis with the leaves on that, and then also on this echinacea, and I think it's just lack of rainwater. So I feel sorry for people who don't get a lot of rainfall and have to have all their stuff on drip, and also the water bill. That has to be astronomical. These zinnias are so pretty. I love this whole grouping here. Now I'm in my garden. Now I have to get out. But yeah, after I got the water bill, I'm like, everything is on its own now. I won't do that next year either. And next year could be different. Also, hopefully you, oops, I gotta show you this. And I need to remember to sit and enjoy my garden at this time, because this is when it's so fun to watch the butterflies. Sometimes I just get so caught up on what needs to be done that I just need to take a break and relax. I should not feel anxiety or stress in my garden. I just need to prioritize. I do best with the list. Look at that. Can you see the fluttering of all the butterflies? Oh, and on a little side note, it was so cool because my niece asked if I could take her graduation pictures in my garden. I thought that was such a huge compliment, because, you know, to even get kids interested these days in gardening, but the fact that she thought that much of my garden, big time compliment. Alright, so hopefully this tour didn't bore you and the noise wasn't too much. I'm sure the cicadas are going to be very annoying. And bye for now.